Today I'm making Mrs. Wage's Zesty bread and butter pickles. Hi guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry, and today we are canning. Okay, I am canning and I'm part of a collaboration with Mrs. Wage's Week. This was actually the brainchild of Tulilu Creates, and there's 7 of us, and in the description box you'll find all the links to all the channels involved in this. But this whole week, Monday through Friday, we are going to have Mrs. Wage's canning, and well, there's some other recipes that aren't canning as well. So today I'm doing the spicy zesty bread and butter pickles, not spicy, zesty. So I'm doing zesty bread and butter pickles, and I have a bowl of sliced cucumbers in the fridge, and I'm doing the last of them. So I've got pickling cucumbers. I bought most of them there's farm stands up here all over, and there's a roadside farm that they have a spot where you can go in and buy fresh produce from the farm, pick that morning. Pretty amazing. So some of them are smaller than others, but I'm doing slices, and that's what it recommends. I also will be using 4 jars lids. So there's a link down below. You can get 10% off your order. I would stock up now because as the demand comes, the supplies dwindle, and we don't want to run into what we ran into. I've always got a year's supply of lids at this point. I'm never going to get to that scary point like we were a couple years ago. I still had lids, but and I have reusable lids, so I was okay. Was it perfect? No. And 4 jars came to our rescue, so that's why I'm using them. Okay, so we are slicing pickles, or slicing cucumbers, and these are beautiful, firm cucumbers. These are gonna soak in this cold ice water for a couple of hours, and then I'll bring you back, and we're gonna get to canning. I'll get my brine started. All right. Are you ready for this? It's gonna be awesome. Okay, so I have got my jars heating up in the steam canner. I've got my vinegar here. Oh, I haven't even opened this one yet. So in the pot, I have the 7 cups of sugar. It calls for 7 cups of sugar. 9 to 11 pounds of pickling cucumbers. This was a guesstimation. Trust me, I don't know. If we have leftover pickles, I'll turn them into either a relish, or I will make them dill pickles if I have extra cucumbers, I'm saying, because this big bowl is ready to start jarring up. Okay, 1 pouch of this and 8 3/4 cups of 5% distilled vinegar. 8 3/4 cups. Woo, that's a lot of vinegar. And you'll see there's turmeric. That's that classic color you get from a bread and butter pickle. So all the spices are going in. Ooh, yummy. And I can see red pepper. That's where the zesty is going to come in. I'm super excited. Ooh, smelling it. Oh, it smells good. Okay. Then it says, let's get back to the instructions. Then it says, actually get all your product ready, washed and sliced and blah, blah, blah. Put that in a large pot, non-reactive pot. Bring mixture just to a boil over medium heat, stirring until it dissolves, and remove it from the heat. So that's our next step. So we need 8 3/4 cups of vinegar. Holy moly, that's a lot of vinegar, but it's a lot of sugar. It's going to be a lot of pickles. Guess what? People are getting pickles for Christmas. Okay? Word of warning to everybody I know. You're going to get pickles. 2. Whoa. 4. Nice. I also stock up on canning jars and well, not canning jars, but canning lids and vinegar this time of year. Going into canning season, I really get my act together. Just so I have it. Okay, that's 4, 6. Wow. And this is going to be a pot full. and 8. Almost a whole gallon of vinegar. 8 and 3/4 cups. Okay. Oh, guess what? I gotta go open up another thing of vinegar. Okay, we'll get that done and we'll be ready to go. Get it on the heat. We're gonna start packing the jars. We'll start out of this. Literally, you don't need a funnel. It's up to you, but it's probably more hindrance than it's helping. And oh, these are beautiful. So you're gonna get, these jars are hot. Just if you tap them down, you're gonna get them pretty packed in there. You don't wanna break them, so, and we wanna be able to get them out. So up here at the top is where it gets a little sketchy. It's gonna hold lots of liquid for pickling power. So pack them out hot jars, and yeah, so we're just gonna keep packing these. And some of the pickles, why they have you pack them in hot jars? Because by the time you put cold pickles in here, it cools the jars down. I guess they are tempered, so, and yeah, my mat is clean. Everything is clean, sanitized, and ready to, I feel like that didn't get down there good enough. But anyway, I'm gonna pack all the jars. Look at, there we go. And get them ready to pour over the hot brine. The brine came up to a boil, now it's just sitting there. So it still will be plenty hot when I'm ready for these. You can use your debubbler tool if you want to push them down further, but I think you're just gonna end up breaking the cucumber, so I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead. Okay, and on we go to all the other jars. All right, I'll be back when they're full. All right, we are ready. I think this one might be a little full. Push that on down. It's up to a 1/2 inch of headspace. So let's get these out of the way. I've got my canner over there waiting. I got my rings soaking in hot water. The brine is hot. And it's gonna go down into the tempered jars. And oh, they're gonna be so pretty with the red flecks of mustard seed and peppers and all of that. So you do want to debubble on this one only because there's so much space. You could probably just tap like I did earlier, but just push around on them. They'll release any bubbles that are going to go in there. Just wackadoo, wackadoo. Okay, to a 1/2 inch of headspace. I've got my vinegar soaked paper towel right there. And we'll get us a lid, 4 jars to the wind, 4 jars lid, place that on, and then we're gonna snug this ring on fingertip tight. These are gonna process in the steam canner, or if you were doing water bath, look how beautiful this is gonna be. How hot too, hot. If you were gonna do this in a water bath, you would cover 1 inch to 2 inches of water and boil it for 15 minutes. Once my steam canner comes up to temperature, it's 15 minutes. So I'm gonna keep that jar nice and hot. I'm gonna progress on. Lather, rinse, and repeat. And literally that's how easy it is. And I have a whole nother big bowl of pickles or cucumbers. So I've got to decide what I'm doing with those. because I'm not going to need more bread and butter. I don't believe. I feel like this one's a little, nope, actually it's a perfect one, half-inch headspace, half-inch headspace. Everything is submerged. Go ahead and do the deep bubbling first. I don't know why I didn't do that. And there was a nice little pocket. So what happens if there's air pockets, it'll change your headspace. It can cause siphoning, all kinds of issues. So re-wipe that rim and a lid and the beautiful outcome. Now the bright green color will change to more of an army green before it's over. Look how pretty those are. Yum. Okay. In the canner. And I'll be back. Okay, 7 quarts in the canner. I'm going to turn the canner up, and I put this on so the ventile is pointing out this direction. So my cabinets, when you've got quarts in here, you kind of have to jostle them around a little bit, but this lid fits on there. Once it gets into my safety zone up here, my green zone for my altitude, I can start my timer and it'll be 15 minutes. Nice big steady stream of steam coming out of that vent hole. It'll be great. All right, we'll be back when I'm taking them out of the canner. I'm super excited, and I have a bunch of leftover brine. So I'm gonna save that and probably pack some pint jars. Okay, so I am ready. These have been sitting here for, probably 10 minutes. It says 5, but I found that these jars are so hot, and I mean, they're still kind of bubbling along. I don't want any siphoning, so I assure myself of a seal. I heard one of them, I want to say, but it doesn't look like it. I thought one of them sealed, but maybe not. Anyway, beautiful, beautiful pickles. Now these are going to float until they settle down, and then they'll come back down. So we're just going to let these sit and leave them undisturbed for 12 to 24 hours. And then I'll come back through and I'll wash the jars, take the rings off, wash the jars, and yes. And I have enough brine to do another batch of pickles, only I'll do them in pint jars this next time. So that, as hard as I tried to get these really packed well, and see, this is still bubbling, and vegetables have air in them. They have water and they have air. So that's gonna give you some idea of what's going on there. But they'll settle back down to the bottom. And I'm super excited about having all these on the shelf. These are shelf stable for me as soon as they all seal. And yep, I don't have anybody sealed just yet, but now that the jars are out of the canner, they should start popping down, suction them down. All right, I can't wait to see you next time for another delicious recipe. And have you ever put bread and butter pickles on the dehydrator? Try it, you will love it. It is a candy treat. I do hope that you enjoyed the video and that you try these pickles because they are delicious.